This is Sad Boy Radio.
All right, everybody, what's up? Today I got my boy Jay on. Go ahead and let them know a little bit about you. What are you about, man?
Yo, what's up? My name's Jark. I'm a graffiti writer from Chicago. I've been painting since 2013 till now, and you can see me everywhere.
For sure, yeah, that's definitely like an understatement. You'll see him everywhere. Just keep a lookout. Uh, so yeah, we're moving into a new realm, right? We're moving into different types of arts, not just musicians, not just photographers, but the art that goes underappreciated, graffiti, right? So go ahead and speak on that a little bit, man.
Yeah, graffiti definitely gets underappreciated in Chicago. I don't know, man. The city's always trying to come after us with the buff. Ever since Mayor Daley kind of put the buff into effect and taking out walls that aren't even city property, just buffing them, with like this caca brown fucking color. It really, really sucks. But I don't know. Some people like it. Most people hate it. We're going to still be doing it until the day we die.
Facts. Yeah, it's definitely tough because it's a form of expression for a lot of you guys, right? Especially when it comes down to, you know, what you're trying to portray, even if it's just trying to get things off your mind, right? Because that's what a lot of people do. They use art to express themselves.
Yeah, man. I know a lot of my homies who do graffiti, to pretty much express their feelings, or get out what they have built up inside, like all their anger or depression, or there's some people who out here doing it for messages like Sir Charles or Viral, where they're not just painting their name or painting like their crew. These guys are out here painting like murals with like messages. Like if you go, I'm pretty sure it's down in Western, Viral painted this elephant with kids in it, and it says, "Don't ignore the elephant inside the room." Basically not to ignore like what's kind of going on right now with like kids being locked up, in immigration. Or you got Sir Charles, who's doing like gang graffiti letters and trying to send messages, trying to get the attention of the gang members to, stop killing our kids, man. He's trying to stop the violence by, still being a part of that culture and trying to get that message across.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely fucked up, especially when, your messages aren't being heard a lot of the time. That's just the type of stuff that gets overlooked in art in general, right? Today we're actually going to be talking about feeling lost and how we've all been lost, right? We were just kind of talking about that actually, but it's kind of like a feeling of emptiness, right? A feeling that just never goes away, that something's wrong. And there's nothing really wrong. You're just kind of don't feel right, right? So tell me something that brings you happiness, bro.
Man, what brings me happiness, low key, is straight up painting. Like, I don't know, there's something that just brings me kind of peace, or just like when I'm painting, I get this kind of adrenaline rush, man, that I don't get with anything else. And sometimes painting is all I got. Like when I'm like really depressed, going through fucking breakups and shit with girls, or, like just going through just, you know, battles with drugs and shit. Just sometimes all I got is my paint and fucking walls to hit up. And, I like that I can just go anywhere, put my name up, and, feel at ease and shit.
Yeah. So that's definitely what fills your void, right? When there's just
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, and it's super tough, man. I always go back and listen to this song that my cousin had made years ago. It was 2012, I believe. It's called "Wrong," and in the song, he literally says, "I'm sick and feel constricted inside of my own skin, like I'm another person trapped in a second body and zoning." Right. So, breaking that down a little bit, when something's wrong, you can't express it, right? You just feel trapped, and there's the only outlet that I found lately has been the podcast. The only outlet I've found lately has been recording a song, even if the song doesn't sound good at the end of the day. Like, it's still something, right? Because and it it's even more fucked up because you can say anything and nobody's gonna question you. They're just gonna listen to it and be like, "Hey, it was all right," or "Yeah, it sucked."
No, I feel you. Yeah, I be the same way when I'm like sketching, and sometimes it just doesn't look right, or sometimes it just comes out sloppy. But hey, man, still do it, and people are gonna look at my book and be like, "What the fuck?" But still gonna see it, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, man, I just going with the flow, cause just needed one of those days, and it was keeping me at peace, you know."
Definitely. And as artists, it's hard to put yourself out there, right? You're putting your heart and soul into something that a lot of people are just going to overlook, right? You're hoping that someone hears what you're saying, sees what you're doing, and kind of connects it to your mental well being, your mental health, right? A song that I think about all the time, or that I was just listening to earlier, it was Justin Bieber's Lonely. And he talks about how everybody saw him sick. The lyrics are, everybody saw me sick, and it felt like nobody gave a shit. And it's relatable for a lot of people because a lot of people are drowning in something inside, right? And it's never talked about. You kind of just go about your day, and everybody's got an issue. Everybody's got something that they're dealing with. But when you're an artist and you're creating, right, you're putting that out there. You're letting the world know, hey, this is what's going on with me. And it feels like it's getting overlooked. Mac Miller is a great example, right? Mac Miller talked about all the things that he was going through. Juice World used to talk about his drug abuse, and all those other rappers like Lil Peep. And drug use is glorified nowadays a lot of the time. But when you think about the people who are talking about their mental health, think about the people who are going through it and expressing themselves, and everybody just that they don't pay attention to you.
Yeah, I can definitely relate with like Mac Miller, Juice World, fucking talking about their drug addictions in their songs, or just talking about using drugs, and these kids kind of just thinking it's kind of cool to use them. I've known a lot of homies who've kind of just been addicted to drugs, K2, coke. I've known a lot of people that have been shooting up, and I've just like learned this from, the older heads who kind of glorify it, like the guys who've been around, who pretty much don't got nothing to them, don't got wives, don't got shit, but, the lifestyle of graffiti and kind of fucking these people up, I guess me, growing up as a graffiti writer, I was definitely exposed to like cocaine, and kind of once I got into college, I kind of experimented with it more, and just because of the world of graffiti, it was just like kind of influenced to do it, even when I was in high school, I met a bunch of guys from a different graffiti crew from the same area, and these guys were trapping lean, and I got my hands on it and pretty much got addicted to it. It was to the point where I was just pouring fours in like the little bottles. You're supposed to pour it in like a 2 liter and shit. I'm over here pouring it in a bottle and shit. On FaceTime with a girl, fucking dozing off and shit. And you ain't even supposed to be doing that shit. And I've pretty much met people who I never thought I'd meet to, have Zans and shit. And pretty much I've always said that I wouldn't take Zans, but once I got my hands on some Zans, man, and some liquor, it just downhill from there and shit. So definitely relate to them. A lot of people to get influenced. I've been influenced. I'm not gonna say right now that I don't influence others, but it's part of the culture. It's really fucked up, but I mean, there's gonna be bunch of rappers, from past, like in the future and shit, who are gonna be talking about drugs, and
Yeah.
it's definitely gonna be influencing people the same way, older heads in graffiti do it and shit.
So let's take it back to the art, right? Definitely the drug use has a heavy influence on that, right? There's so many artists who have fallen into that category, just like we stated, right?
Yeah, for sure. I've met some really dope people, man, who used to be fucking killing it back in the day, like really, really killing it, but just because of drug addiction, they just can't do it and shit. I've met people who've had it all, and just because of drugs, lost it all, and motherfuckers sleeping on trains and shit, and really, really fucked up. Could have stuck to the graph, and sometimes you just get lost in the drugs.
How do you think you stay out of that cycle?
Man, I'm still working to get out of that cycle, man. It's kind of hard, bro, to be in the life of graffiti and not really do drugs, man. And I'm not talking about weed either, or wax, or anything THC, because I don't consider that drug. That's a plant, talking about coke, acid, shrooms, Molly, X, perks and shit. Um, right now, I'm just trying to stick to my painting, trying to evolve, trying to help teach people, the kind of way of graffiti, not trying to focus on drugs, really. I'm having a bad time doing that, but we're getting there.
Yeah. And you know what, man? I'm glad that you're kind of working on yourself,
Appreciate it.
Definitely keep pushing yourself to become a better version of yourself, and hopefully those cycles do break. Continue to use your art, man, because at the end of the day, art is the biggest form of expression, and it's gonna really, really help establish who you are as a person and who you want to be as a person, right? Going back to it, right? There were so many times where artists speak about it, and they speak about their loneliness and how this void of feeling lost, it's tough on them, you know. Eminem talks about it in his song Beautiful and Careful What You Wish For, right? In Beautiful, he talks about how, walk in my shoes is, see, live the life I've lived, and, see if you don't turn out the same way. I just think about stuff like that, right? Because everybody feels differently. Just like I mentioned in the previous episode, nobody's ever gonna feel the same way that you feel, even if you go through the same exact experience. You know, it's not the same. Nobody's gonna feel sad the way you feel sad. So, talk about it, man. Talk about how you feel that. How does art make you feel? How does your art make you feel?
Man, a lot of people probably won't agree with me and shit, and I don't give a fuck. Uh, Mainly, the art I do, well, graffiti, I do tags and throws, I keep it simple. New York, I guess, kind of flow and shit. Um, I think it's nice. I think it's beautiful. Sometimes it's not clean. Sometimes it is clean. People see me up, that makes me happy, There was a time in my graffiti career where I was pretty much putting on a front and shit, and I kind of talked big just because of the crew that I was in at the time, and just past 2-3 years been really pushing myself, painting a lot, meeting a lot of different types of graffiti writers, creating friendships. My art definitely makes me happy, even when I'm not doing graffiti. When I'm on my iPad, trying to learn how to do kind of graphic designs, and try to push my creativity to a different kind of realm, makes me just puts me at peace and shit, because I go through a bunch of shit in life, and I don't really have much and shit right now, but my graph, and my fucking cats, low key. Shout out Salt and Pepper.
Dude, you love those cats, bro. I see them on your gram all the time. But, if you don't mind, talk about something that really impacted you, that made you go into the art, right? That really pushed you to start creating, right?
Man, you want to talk from way, way back, like how I really started?
Hey man, whatever inspires you, whether it's a happy memory, whether it's a sad memory, some it's sad boy radio, bro. You could be as sad as you want.
I think what kind of pushed me to really do graph, I guess, was kind of like the way I grew up. And I like just grew up in a really kind of messed up situation and shit. My dad was like a hardcore game banger, and kind of my mom was just like a single mother, and I was just exposed to a lot of like, game banging, and I was like really, really influenced by that, and that's kind of where I seen myself. And just like I was just seeing where my dad was kind of going down, like the path he was going down, and I was just like, fuck that. I want to be something, for my kids. I don't want my kids to grow up and be like, damn, my dad was just a game banger and shit, So I kind of just went in my own realm and got exposed to graffiti and kind of been influenced by that since. And I mean, it's done good for me now. I just, in the future, when I have children, I want to be able to tell them about the crazy stories that I have, like the chases that I've done and shit with the homies, and just like being, getting away from the cops, or, just like crazy shit, that they wouldn't believe, because some of the shit that I go through, I tell my family, and they be like amazed and shit. They be like, bro, why don't you fucking put a GoPro on, bro? You fucking make some crazy ass videos and shit, and I just want to leave something for my kids to kind of be proud of, and be like, damn, my dad kind of, put all this work, getting chased by cops, and, just all the risk and shit for this art, and some people might not think graffiti's art, but it is. It's been a huge impact since the 70s. Um, it's part of hip hop. DJing, breakdancing. Graffiti. It's like the elements that you need, bro. So yeah, that's kind of what's been influencing me.
Yeah, and using your past, using your experiences as your influence, right? As your inspiration. That's what creating is all about at the end of the day. So many artists have similar backgrounds to you, right? So many artists go through so many different things that it it's their way of expressing themselves. And like I said, it's always going to be tough to be an artist because you can say so many different things. You can tell people like straight up like, man, I don't feel right. And who's going to check on you? I have to be honest, I haven't had one person hit me up since I created this podcast and say, "What's up with you, bro?" Like that's an idea to me, right? Like think about it, right? I've created, what is this, the eighth one? I've had 8 of these, and not one person has ever said like,
Yo, you good?
yeah, like, bro, what made you create a podcast? I've had one person ask me, how do you come up with all these ideas? Because this is the shit I think about, bro. This is the shit I think about every single day. And these outlines, yeah, they're a little hard to write sometimes, but that's only because there's so much going on in my mind all the time that I'm like, all right, what am I going to talk about today?
Yeah, bro, it's hard to put it down sometimes and shit, bro. Sometimes there's just so many things running through your fucking head. Don't got time, bro.
For real. It's like, you're running out of time. It's like the one song that Aragon made, bro. He literally says, time's clicking and I feel like I'm running out of time. I always feel like I'm running out of time, bro. I literally always feel like there's nothing, like that I'm doing nothing, and that there's always more that I can do. But at the end of the day, like, I'm editing a video, I'm writing down an outline, I'm recording, I'm doing school. Like there's so much that I do in my daily life that it's like, all right, fuck it. This podcast, this is gonna be my outlet, bro. This how I'm gonna go ahead and express myself. And whether someone listens or not, you know, I'm still gonna do it. This is still something that makes me happy. But it kind of sucks when it gets overlooked and it's like, damn, you know, who's listening? I don't even know like how many people are gonna make it this far in the video.
I totally feel you and shit, bro. I feel the same way about graffiti, man. I don't give a fuck if you finna notice it or you know. Yeah, sometimes I put little messages. If sometimes people get it, sometimes they don't. I don't give a fuck. You know, I'm finna do it for me. I don't do it for nobody else. You know, people can hate. Um, they ain't gonna be in the spots I'm in.
Yeah, and it's always dope to see the work that you do. Like I said, you'll literally find this guy's tag anywhere you fucking go, and it's cool because, you know, I'll Snapchat him when I see it. He'll take a screenshot and be like, "Damn, that's dope. Thanks, bro." Like, just feeling noticed and feeling heard. That's really like, it's dope. It's a dope feeling, and you know, whether you listen to this or not, whether you appreciate the art or not, you know, at the end of the day, it's something that years later from now, I'll be able to look back on and say, damn, I did that. Or, damn, I was spitting some facts. Like, you know, this is the shit that was going on in my life at the time. And, you know, I made something out of it. So, it. I just want everybody to kind of take a moment to appreciate the art that you are listening to, that you are viewing, that you are watching, you know, because someone really put their time and effort into it. And especially when you feel lost, when you feel like nobody's listening, like that was something that somebody created for that purpose. You know, somebody really felt like, damn, I got nothing but this fucking pen and paper. I got nothing but this paint and brush. I got nothing but a microphone and a camera. You know, I'm gonna make the most out of what I can do. So going back to the point, right? You know, we just kind of went off on a little rant. But other than art, what is something that you feel helps that void of loneliness?
Um, hmm. Other than art, low key, man, smoking, man. Uh, I don't know, like if you know me personally or follow me on Instagram, you know, my Instagram's only blunts. I'm always smoking a blunt, man, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, you know, and I just, I really appreciate, you know, the flower itself. I follow a lot of like genetics pages, you know, kind of people who, you know, grow bud professionally, not just in Cali, you know, because there's fire bud that being grown in like Oregon. I've had fire bud from like Michigan, you know. Um, I've flown to Colorado, man, just because I really appreciate, you know, bud THC products. I swear to God, I'm not a crackhead, man. I just really, really like the flower. I like what kind of goes into it. Um, I just like what people can create, you know. Nowadays, people are crossbreeding, you know, multiple strains, you know, or, you know, just going down and just making like wild shit nowadays, man. Like the shit that they're growing is crazy, man. You know, it's something to really appreciate. You know, it's somebody else's art. You know, that shit takes time, man, to get what you need and then trim it correctly. And yeah, I mean,
This man loves his bud, bro.
you catch me with bud all the time, man. It's my medicine, low key. Swear to God.
How do you think it's helped you?
Definitely calms me down. Uh, I'm not gonna say I use it to kind of battle depression or kind of because I have a you know drug habit. You know, it just calms me down. I don't know. Sometimes when I like bored and shit, hey man, I hit up a couple of my homies. I know, and all my homies smoke, man. So I know that's you know that what's gonna happen. We finna match. We finna chill and me, I like to chill with like all my people. 99% of the time, if you hit me up and tell me let's link, for sure, I'm gonna be happy because I'm linking with a homie, and two, because we're gonna smoke. You know, you never know when you're gonna have a homie pass away, and I don't want to be one of those guys who, puts a picture up of you that everybody's posting up and shit. Like from your social media, and saying, "Man, I wish I would have chilled with him." He always hit me up like, nobody can say that shit about me, man, because I'm always chilling with people and shit. Like, big facts.
Yeah. And you know, it's definitely, it's okay to say that like it helps you mentally, right? Because at the end of the day, everybody's going through something, bro. I've talked about it multiple times with on previous episodes where like anxiety, right? Anxiety is a bitch to deal with because you wake up and it's just there.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like a dark cloud over you, man.
For real. And you talk to somebody about it and they, like I said, nobody's gonna feel the exact same way as you do. So even if somebody has anxiety and you got anxiety, you guys are gonna react to it differently. You guys are gonna feel a different type of way about it, and it's just like a tough thing to deal with daily, right? I don't know. A lot of other people do have other mental health problems that affect them on the daily. You talk about depression a lot, so if you want to touch on that a little bit.
I've been diagnosed with like depression, but it's like major. I think it's like major depression disorder. I've been diagnosed since like January. Just in the beginning of the year, I was going through a kind of rough patch in my life. I was losing a lot of people that I thought were there for me, and just was stuck in my crib, kind of depressed, kind of in a lonely state. And what do I know best, man? I know drugs. I know that's kind of what's gonna be there for me, So got a couple Zans, man, and did shit I probably shouldn't have, and man, I ended up in the psych ward, bro, cause guess I was just out of it, man, and it was kind of like a wake up call going to the psych ward. It, definitely was something I kind of needed. It was like a eye opener, I definitely didn't want to be living my life, in and out of psych wards because of like my drug problem, and I just kind of had to stop it, and kind of ever since that's happened, kind of just been working on myself, staying away from hardcore drugs, man, and just trying to get myself back. I still once in a while, get my funks where I'm like really, really depressed, man, because just life, man. Shit fucking happens, and
This thing
it's
called life, bro. This thing
yeah,
called life.
fucking unexpected shit, dude. And it's like fucking sometimes it's like one after the other. Like fuck, man, I can't get a break.
Yeah. Man, that's life, bro. Just dealing
Yeah.
with shit that comes along.
Yeah.
And hey, that's a topic for another episode, bro. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but yeah, we got something coming for that. But really what we want to focus on today is, if there's somebody that in your life that's feeling down, if there's somebody in your life that's feeling like, damn, I can't talk to anybody. There's no one that's gonna relate to me. Somebody that you see abusing drugs, somebody that you see abusing any type of substance, reach out to them. Reach out to the people that you haven't talked to in a minute because, maybe there's something going on. And you're not going to know unless you ask them, hey, what's going on? How are you doing? Are you okay? And I think that I can speak for everybody in the room where it's like, hey, man, everybody's going through something, but if you really cherish somebody, you're gonna reach out.
Yeah, for sure. Man, if you, got a drug problem, or, that's your escape from your depression, man, you can always holler at me, man. And my DMs are always open. I definitely know how it feels to, have a bunch of shit bottled up and not being able to talk to no one. I've had homies who I've called fucking crying and shit because, those are my homies. I don't got nothing to hide. If they really my homies, they're not going to call me soft for crying. At the end of the day, everybody goes through their shit. You can't judge them. Just be there for them. Your homies are going to put you down because if they're really your homies, they won't put you down. Definitely better than you fucking popping a Xan or, getting your hands on some shit you probably shouldn't be, fucking with that you don't know. Definitely holler at someone, man.
For sure. And take it from Sad Boy Radio, take it from Jark, man. Yeah, everybody needs somebody. That's a Bieber line, low key. To close out the show, we're starting something new. Actually, we're having the guest bring out a piece that represents who they are. And today, Jark decided he's gonna show us one of his tattoos. All right, so speak a little bit about the piece.
If you guys can't see it, it's a pig wearing a cop outfit with his, with a sword going through his head, down his mouth. It says ACAB at the top. This piece, I feel like, represents me, man, because I really dislike the police, man. The police is really, really messed up, man. And if you know me, I don't fuck with the police, man. I'm always dodging them, man. I'm definitely doing shit I probably shouldn't be doing, But, I mean, other than that, man, especially the Chicago Police Department, like, mad corrupt. Yeah, I've just grown up kind of hearing my father's stories. And let me remind you, he was a hardcore gangbanger, but, hey, man, that doesn't mean for the police to disrespect you, man. And I've heard stories where the police have just like told him to take his shoes off, and these guys had brand new J's on, and the police have like grabbed his shoes, thrown him in the street like for no reason, type of shit. Or if the cops know you from the hood, man, they finna mess with you, bro. And it's really fucked up. And it goes the same in the world of graffiti, especially like, man, there are some cops who kind of try to be like Captain Save-A-Hose, They try to do the most and shit, and I'm over here just painting, bro. Like ain't even doing nothing too much, and they want to run after you and call whole like squads on you and shit. Like, bro, ain't even that serious, man. Yeah, I'll probably get my ass whooped and shit if I get arrested and the cops see this, man. They'll probably beat the shit out of me, but I mean, hey,
That's why you got the mask, bro.
yeah, bro.
No, man, but I really do appreciate you coming on here and talking about the things that you go through, right? Because it's tough for a lot of people to just come on a podcast and talk about their vulnerable side, especially especially when it comes to the topics we talked about: drug abuse, depression, everything that goes inside of that. Like I said, it's definitely not the easiest thing to talk about ever, especially when nobody's hearing you. But hey, for you to get it off your chest, that's definitely something, right?
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, gang. Been waiting. I know we've been having this plan for a couple weeks. It's definitely dope, man. If you're watching this and you're a graph writer and you try to judge me off the shit I've been through, fuck you, I don't give a fuck.
All right, man. So that's going to be it for SBR. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And tune in, share this video. Thanks.
This is Sad Boy Radio.